Hello there and a very good Monday afternoon to you. Welcome along to our live broadcast. It is Monday, January the 26th, 2026. We are on the home stretch now. Longest month of the year, almost out of the way. And sure then, you won't feel it till Christmas. Welcome along, friends, and a very happy Australia Day to our friends down under in the land of kangaroos and beaches. Yes, it is Australia Day, so lots of Irish in that part of the world. You can catch up with all the goings on in Sydney, at least, on the Ireland Calling Radio Show, which goes out here on Friday nights, 9 until midnight. And listening this past weekend, interesting to hear the news bulletins and the weather. Heat warnings. It's hot and sticky down there. Meanwhile, over here in Ireland, cold and chilly. Today is not a bad old day here in the west, I can tell you. The sun is actually coming through the clouds. First time we've seen it all weekend long. So, welcome along, friends. It's the Daily Crack Show with me, Sean G. Streaming live on Global Irish Radio. Global Irish Radio, the Irish diaspora station, bringing you Irish radio programs from all around the world, including places like Sydney there that we mentioned. We hope you're well this Monday. We are with you for the hour with all the latest happenings here in this country of ours. Mother Ireland checking in with you. We're keeping you connected with the chitter chatter of the nation, the top trending stories. There's music, studio@gir.ie. Should you ever feel the need to get in touch with us, and we'd love to hear from you, studio@gir.ie. We hope you're well this Monday. Now, The weather. Yeah, it's nice at the moment, but we're bracing ourselves, I think, for another storm. There have been weather warnings issued, and initially for rain, but I think they're being upgraded as we speak. Met Éireann has issued a new status yellow weather warning as Ireland braces for heavy downpours in the coming days. Didn't we just have heavy downpours? Yes, we did. And yes, following several days where most regions have experienced substantial rainfall, there seems to be no respite on the horizon. A status yellow rain warning was released by Met Éireann for one county, that being County Wicklow. And that's getting battered by heavy winds as well and rain all over the weekend and that effect. But since that was issued, I think there's another one because there's another named storm now on the way. And there are orange warnings, which is a level higher. Orange warnings being issued as well for some counties as Storm Chandra, Chandra, barrels towards Ireland. That's right, my friends. A series of weather warnings have been issued across Ireland and Northern Ireland as Storm Chandra is set to batter the nation with heavy wind and rain on Tuesday. Met Éireann has issued the status yellow rain warning for Carlow, Kilkenny, Louth, Wexford, Wicklow and Waterford. So more to the east of the country. The warnings will come into effect from midnight tonight to 11 p.m. on Tuesday, with forecasters warning bands of rain falling already on well-saturated ground, so the possibility of flooding, localised flooding, river flooding and difficult travel conditions. So bear that in mind, particularly if you're in the affected counties there. In addition, a status yellow wind warning has been issued for Cork, Kerry, Waterford, Dublin, Louth, Wexford and Wicklow. Storm Chandra is expected to blow heavy and persistently, with the warning valid from 5 a.m. to 11 p.m. on Tuesday. Met Éireann added that winds associated with the storm will be very strong and gusty, particularly along coastal and exposed areas. So there you go. Another named storm packing quite the punch. Not coming so much towards the west as the east of the country this time, but I'm sure all of our weather will be impacted to some degree, so that's one to watch out for Tuesday. Better than the beast from the east, I think you'll probably agree that earlier models had predicted, so it's coming in the form of rain rather than snow. Had the temperatures been a little bit lower, obviously, it would be a snow type of event. We'll take the rain. We're okay with the rain. You don't have to shovel the rain. So there you go. But watch out for that. Be aware. There may be localised flooding and there may be difficult travel conditions throughout Tuesday. So no word on flights or anything of that. The rain doesn't... We know how to work around the rain. Better the devil you know. GlobalIrishRadio.com. We stream on as many as 25 digital platforms. And as we've been telling you, the Global Irish Radio app, it is now back in the App Store. So get it while you can. And, we talk about our weather, but when we look across to the States, now that's a winter storm. A massive winter storm dumped sleet, freezing rain and snow across much of the US yesterday, bringing sub-zero temperatures and paralysing air and road traffic. Thousands and thousands. Looking at one report there, maybe 11,000 flights cancelled. That'll tell you the amount of air travel in the United States. But anyway, power lines were draped in ice, and hundreds of thousands of people in the southeast were left without electricity. This was a big storm that covered a large band of the country. Once in a lifetime kind of storm. The ice and snowfall were expected to continue today in much of the US, followed by low temperatures which could cause dangerous travel and infrastructure impacts to linger for several days, the National Weather Service has said. So yeah, it was a big bad storm, and actually there was pictures of the New York mayor, the new New York mayor, out shoveling snow and helping workers there in New York and helping residents to get their cars out. That was absolutely fascinating. I haven't seen that before. But yeah, it was interesting to see Times Square covered in snow as well, and the ploughs out. And in different Philadelphia, there was a fleet of snowplows out on the expressways clearing the way. So it was whiteout conditions in many parts of the States. William J. Kelly did a little video for us in Chicago, and the streets covered in snow there as well. So it's a bad storm, and of course it'll take several days for the airlines to catch up, because, as I said, lots of the flights were cancelled. Even Aer Lingus here cancelled their flights, particularly to the affected areas in the United States, Chicago and the East Coast. Their flights was cancelled yesterday and the day before, so I think they're back up and running today. The storm has kind of passed through, but of course the effects of that linger and will continue to linger for a period of time. And with those snow and cold events where the weather drops and stuff, it's not until you have the warm up and the thaw that you really see some of the major infrastructural or collateral damage in the form of burst pipes and that kind of stuff. So difficult travel conditions all across the United States, as you can imagine, and air traffic impacted, all of that kind of stuff. So there you go, that's the latest on that. So our weather, when you put it in, everything is relative. And they may have had a lot of snow and ice yesterday, but it didn't stop the football from going ahead. Oh no. The New England Patriots beat the Denver Broncos 10-7 in swirling snow, whiteout conditions at Empire Field at Mile High to reach a record 12th Super Bowl. So now we know the makeup of Super Bowl 2026. The Patriots edged a defense-dominated game in treacherous conditions to book their place in the Super Bowl on the 8th of February, which is taking place in, is it Santa Clara, I think? California, maybe? And they are set to face the Seattle Seahawks following the Seahawks' 31-27 victory over the Los Angeles Rams in the NFC Championship. So there you go, a little bit of American sports news to get us up and running this Monday. Of course, here in Ireland, I think the National League kicked off yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. In fact, Checker Fergus will be able to clarify that one for us. But I think our National League is up and running, and we had in terms of the local result here, Mayo beat Galway. Will Galway beat Mayo? Not if they have Willie Joe. Well, yes, they did. They didn't have Willie Joe yesterday, and they beat arch rivals Galway. 3-18 was the final score there, and it was significant because I think it was Andy Moran's. Was it his first game in charge? Maybe. Andy Moran hailed his young guns as they blasted arch rivals Galway to end a 4-match losing run to their neighbours. So good news for Mayo fans at the start of the league there yesterday. I think it was the start anyway, and the reason I think it was the start is because we actually talked about the league for different reasons in the latest edition of the Irish Ranter podcast. Yes, friends, we recorded that over the weekend. You'll get that wherever you find your podcasts or at theirishranter.com. And one of the stories in there was, of course, the fact that some of the players protesting at Allianz being, they're the sponsor of the league, the National League. They have been for many, many years. And because of their parent company in Germany has some kind of dealings with companies that supply Israeli Defense Forces, people are getting their all up in arms about whether the Allianz, the sponsorship deal should continue. So that's something we talk about. You can find out our thoughts on that with John Gurry in the Irish Ranter podcast. We won't go into it here. All righty, looking at our papers today. What have we got in the papers? Lots of, most of the front pages, I think, carry the story of a tragedy in Finglas that took the life of a young girl. A sad story, and as I say, it is making the headlines. It's given the front page headlines for all, I think most of the papers anyway today. Scrambler crash victim dies is the headline in today's Irish Daily Star. A teenage girl has died in hospital after she was struck by a scrambler bike yesterday. The shocking incident occurred in Finglas, West Dublin at around 2:20 p.m. yesterday afternoon. The teenage girl, who is understood to be 16, was walking when she was struck by the scrambler, one of these kind of motorcycles, and she was rushed to hospital, but of course died later from her injuries. And that was the top story on the news bulletins last night, as well as the Gardaí had the scene cordoned off, and we weren't aware. It was a live report from the scene, but at that time we didn't know that the young girl had succumbed to her injuries there. So a sad story for the family of that young girl there in Finglas in County Dublin. Alright, elsewhere, of course, the other big story that dominates the papers today, as is often the case these days, it comes from America, and plenty of coverage for that story where a young man lost his life at the hands of ICE agents, shot dead by ICE agents there in Minneapolis. Everyone knows the story. Everybody's watching the videos. Everyone's caught up in the detail. An ICU nurse following what I would say was his instinct and training to go to the assistance of a woman that was flung to the ground by masked ICE agents, and then for his trouble is riddled with 10 bullets. And then to add insult to injury, the administration comes out and tries to distort and control the narrative and label the poor guy a domestic terrorist. A domestic terrorist. We're seeing a lot of domestic terrorists now in America suddenly, and this one in the form of a nurse, an ICU nurse who goes to help a young lady who's been, as I say, manhandled by ICE agents. And it gives, there's a quote that's carried in a lot of our papers today. We're seeing it in a lot of different places and social media as well. It's a George Orwell quote. "The party told you to reject the evidence of your eyes and ears. It was their final, most essential command." Kind of a chilling quote that has a greater resonance now, I suppose, when you see events unfolding on the streets of Minneapolis and indeed across the states. And much has been made of his of the guy having carrying a concealed weapon. He had a permit to carry a concealed weapon, and suddenly his Second Amendment rights have been trampled all over. And what do you know? There's not a sign of the NRA to be seen. Nobody coming to the defence of the Second Amendment rights to bear arms. Isn't that strange? And one wonders, because if a foreign leader inflicted the kind of damage on America that has been inflicted right now, the CIA would have neutralised the threat a long time ago. What happened to the once fine institutions, the systems of, I suppose, checks and balances, the judiciary? Where are they all? Doge. Well, Doge wasn't about efficiencies. It was about dismantling oversight. Anybody that knows anything knows that. And while everybody's caught up in the detail of the shootings, I suppose there's a great quote. You can't see the forest for the trees. People are failing to see the big picture here, and everybody is, this is not really, this is nothing to do with immigration. It's nothing to do with law enforcement. It's nothing to do with red. It's nothing to do with blue. It's to do with freedom. And America is on the cusp of losing its freedom, sadly, because well on the road to authoritarianism. And that is the big picture, friends. And people are too caught up in their hatred of, be it migrants or whatnot, but spending billions and billions, almost 100 billion now spent on a private army, ICE. Today it's the immigrants. Tomorrow it's anybody that steps out of line with the authoritarian regime that is coming down the line. The penny may drop when the midterms are cancelled or they're rigged. And much talk about whether Micheál Martin should go to the States. We'll talk about that in a moment. But what's happening right now is basically a lot of smoke and mirrors. But the big picture is being missed by a lot of people, and they don't see the trajectory that America is on. And, some people, we talk about rogue nations, and it's only a year ago, in the space of a year, America's gone from being probably the role model nation, the country that every country aspires to be, to essentially becoming what many would consider now a rogue nation. You have a private army, you have massive military spending, you have a government that's harming its own citizens, you have a government that's withdrawing from international accords, breaking or no regard for international law, all of which point to that's the definition of a rogue nation. You have a supreme leader who is going to sue the pollsters because 71% of people polled this past week said not only is America going in the wrong direction, they said it is out of control. And the unemployment numbers, when is the last time you heard the unemployment numbers? No, the statisticians or the people that report the numbers were fired because the numbers weren't the kind of numbers that they wanted to hear. They didn't want to hear. The truth can often hurt. So that's what's going on. It's a crazy, crazy time in America. And, you look at what's happening and people, they're still caught up in the politics of it all, the red and the blue and the hatred of the left and the right. And they're failing to see what's going on. They're failing to see the forest from the trees. Sad, sad, sad. Any of the reporters or the legitimate reporters have basically been banished from the press room now at this point because they don't report the lie. They don't live up to the lie. But anyway, that's America. It's depressing stuff. So we'll move away from that. It would certainly bring you down, and to see what's going on and to see all the division, the country's so polarised, and that has been exploited and that has been driven. And the chaos, it's needed because bad things, worse things are on the way for America, I predict. But anyway, that's for other experts. And of course, great podcasts anywhere you go. A lot of great political podcasts that will put perspective into what's going on. See, a lot of people take their news from, slanted outlets or Facebook or Twitter. Twitter is, this point, X is a cesspit of lies and right-wing spew. So there you go. That's what Elon Musk has turned it into. So no respect for that whatsoever anymore. And of course, Truth Social, the irony of it all. But anyway, there is one other story involving Donald Trump in our papers today because, as you know, Eric Trump was here in the country last week. And it looks increasingly likely that the Donald will pay a flying visit to Ireland for the Irish Open at his Trump International Golf Links in Doonbeg this September. His son Eric said he expects his father to be attending, and the golf tournament may be on the agenda when the Taoiseach Micheál Martin meets Trump in the White House in March to celebrate St. Patrick's Day, if that goes ahead. And some people saying that the Donald isn't interested in a bowl of shamrock. He is more interested in the check for $1 billion as part of his international shakedown efforts, the peace board or the peace panel, whatever they're talking about, or whatever he calls it. We have some choice words from Mary Robinson, Ireland's former president. Maybe we'll share those with you in a minute as well. But anyway, a formal invitation has already been issued to him to attend the event by Ireland, but the US president has not yet responded. So that's the latest. Trump has been invited to Ireland for the golf event. Not sure if the Taoiseach has been invited yet to Washington for the Shamrock ceremony. We will have to see. But that it looks like the Donald might be making a visit. Not sure if it's a state visit or what kind of visit, how it'll be classified. But it's expected, it's likely that he'll come in September for that prestigious golf event at his golf course in Doonbeg, County Clare. I don't think he's going to the Super Bowl because it's too far to go, and of course he says he doesn't like the musical acts that are taking place there, and probably wouldn't like the booing that might happen too, but who knows. So that's the latest on the Donald. And I mentioned that what did I say, Mary Robinson was coming out talking about this peace board. First of all, let's see what the latest is on the visit by Micheál Martin too, because there's a lot of coverage on this. A lot of people are talking about this, and it's the subject of a lot of analysis pieces and commentary pieces everywhere you look at the moment. Unease is growing within Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael over the capacity of an increasingly dithery Taoiseach Micheál Martin to take on the challenges posed by dealing with Donald Trump's New World Order. And the worry comes as the Business Post poll yesterday showed support for Fianna Fáil at just 15%, just 1 point higher than its previous lowest poll rating in 2024. So Micheál Martin not doing great in the polls, neither is his party, and a lot of concern for Some people call it a bootlicking exercise. Of course, there are extreme views on the left and on the right in terms, of course, as what's his name? Mark Carney, the Canadian Prime Minister, said the only thing is, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. So that's the other side of the coin. So it's topical. It's topical at the moment. Lots of people talking about it. Lots of people are giving arguments why it should happen. Others saying why it should not. But a lot of people thinking, Micheál Martin hasn't closed the door to the 1 billion price tag of being on the peace panel. Simon Harris has all pretty much shut it down out of hand. But anyway, he's not the one that's going to Washington. Mary Robinson has said that the US proposed board of peace is not a board of peace, but it is the board of the power of one person. Mrs. Robinson is a member of the Elders, a group of global leaders working for human rights, and she was speaking on RTE's Morning Ireland with earlier today. And Mrs. Robinson said the Board of Peace is a delusion of power, is how she described it, by US President Donald Trump. Mrs. Robinson, a former President of Ireland and former UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, she said, we had the power of the United States of America unfettered, or he's had, rather, and this is in reference to the Donald, he's had the power of the United States of America unfettered within the country and outside of the country, and we're seeing what that means. And Ms. Robinson said that the United Nations did not need to be replaced, but that it does need to be reformed, which the Elders have been calling on for several years. So that's former President Mary Robinson weighing in on the Peace Board and the Donald's delusion of, well, his delusions in general, I suppose. But there you go. But yeah, it's a shame. If you look at the makeup of the countries that are on there already, it reads like a who's who of gangsters in the world or rogue nations. Most of the countries are on Ireland's unsafe list of countries. The likes of Netanyahu and Putin and the Hungary guy, all of the most undesirables, let's put it that way, they are the ones comprising this peace board. So it's crazy, crazy, crazy stuff, and just, again, smoke and mirrors, corruption. We're in the golden era of corruption. Now, Dancing with the Stars. God, I love escapism these days. You need it, don't you? And when it started out first, we weren't paying much attention to it. In fact, we thought it was nonsense, but we're getting into it. Myself and Margaret watching it on a Sunday night because there's not a whole lot else on the telly. But anyway, another one bites the dust. Great pictures in a lot of the papers today, but I'm looking at the Daily Star, and there are pictures of all of the dancers doing their routines. As I said last week, the production on this show is out of this world. The dancing, not so much, but the production, the sets and all of that. And last night it was the country music theme, wasn't it? And we all, of course, love country music, and it was nice to see the dancers strutting their stuff on the dance floor. But there has to be a loser each week. That's the way the show works. Amber Wilson became the third celebrity to be eliminated from Dancing with the Stars during a special episode last night on the country music theme or genre, after performing an American Smooth to Chappelle Rowan's The Giver with professional dancer Alex Vladimir. The podcast received the lowest combined scores from the judges and the viewers, and so it was out the door for her. Things should be back towards the end of the season for a dance where they all get back together for a reunion finale. She was a little bit more downbeat. Last week, Brian Kennedy was knocked out. He put a big positive spin on it and looked at all of the good things of the highs of being involved in the show. She was a little bit more downbeat, but resigned to the reality that that's the way the cookie crumbles, and that's how the show works. Somebody has to be knocked out each week. So there you go. Slowly but surely they're making their way through that list that started out with 12. They're down to 9 now, I think, as the show continues. So lots of coverage on that in all of the papers today. And a little piece here, Jessie Buckley, who is Ireland's best hope for an Oscar this year, enjoyed success at a lot of the award shows and got the nomination for the Oscars during this past week. Well, it turns out that they did not, this is rather interesting, they did not have a television until she was a teenager. And she's 36, so, you know, it's not like she's 86 or anything like that. She's 36, but they didn't have a television in the house until she was a teenager. The Hamnet actress, 36, has been nominated, as you know, for Best Actress. She grew up in Killarney, that most picturesque town in the south of Ireland in County Kerry, and in a family that was obsessed with music and played the Irish harp, the clarinet and the piano. That's one of the great things about not having a television. You develop other interests, and her first love apparently was music, and they never felt like they needed a telly. Isn't that great? What you never had, you never missed. Buckley's uncle Sean and his wife Carol Dempsey said her childhood revolved around family sing-alongs, music, lessons, hiking and swimming. And they added having no television allowed them to experiment creatively and spend time in nature as a family. Music really was her first love, long before the acting took over. So there you go. Pipped to get an Oscar for Best Actress this year, and not having the television until she was a teenager didn't hold her back. Today, I suppose, it's not only the television you have to worry about, it's the smartphone and the social media and the internet that is stifling the creativity of a lot of youngsters. And I was listening there to a letter that came in, not here in Ireland, and also to the New York Times, very similar letters, and basically they were from teachers, and what essentially they were saying was that youngsters showing up for school these days, that they're having to teach that they're way, way behind in terms of basic survival skills and knowing basic little things that they should know as 4 or 5 year olds because of the screens. They're blaming it on the screens. And so basically they just no communication skills. Well, what communication skills would a 5-year-old have anyway? But the basic things, like basic instructions, having difficulty comprehending them, and they said they're years behind what they should be, even at the starting out baby infants or whatever they call it. So that is worrying stuff. So well done to Jess Buckley. That's what I say. GlobalIrishRadio.com. We are the Irish Diaspora Station, and studio at GIR.ie as always. If you feel the need to get in touch with you, love to hear from you. What's on the telly tonight? I'm sure you're wondering. Here's our pick of the day today. This is a show that debuted last week on Virgin Media, and the first guest last week was Micheál Martin, and lots of positive reviews, and didn't help him in that poll, by the way, but for those people who saw it, they said a lot of nice things, and it showed a very human side to the Taoiseach, and how he handled the questions on personal tragedy and grief, which he's experienced much of in his lifetime. But anyway, that was last week. There's another new guest lined up this week. It's episode 2 of the series. It's called The Assembly. It's on Virgin Media 1 at 9 p.m. tonight, where a group of autistic and neurodivergent reporters ask famous faces the questions no one else dares. Comedian Joanne McNally is in the firing line tonight, and the star who hosts a popular podcast with Vogue Williams called the podcast that is called My Therapist Ghosted Me. My Therapist Ghosted Me, and she faces questions on everything from dating to advice on driving. So no holds barred. I might have to listen into this one. Anyway, she also answers deeply personal questions about her experience with an eating disorder. Lots of people have eating disorders, by the way, in this country. And on a side note, I heard that we only have 3 beds. I think it's 3 beds in the entire country for people suffering from eating disorders. So that might be something that needs attention, but we're getting sidetracked. I digress once again. But anyway, she'll be talking about comedy and growing up with her parents. Everything's on the table, and that's The Assembly tonight, and Joanne McNally under the spotlight. And another show that's on RTE2 tonight that I just discovered last week. I didn't realise they were showing it on RTE, but it is the Frasier reboot. Yes, we all remember the very, very successful sitcom Frasier, which ran for 11 seasons before it went away. Well, recently, in the past couple of years, that is, there was a Frasier reboot. Completely different cast. Frasier's the only common denominator, and it's about the next chapter in his life when he moves back to Boston. And so that is airing on RTE2 tonight at 9:30 p.m. Watched it last week. I was a huge Frasier fan, and of course Frasier, Kelsey Grammer, typecast into that role. He's played it now in 3 different incarnations of the show, hasn't he? Well, he was in Cheers, he played Frasier in Cheers, he played Frasier in Frasier, the original series, and now he's back as Frasier again. So we are excited and delighted about checking in on that again tonight. Some of the great things happening here this Monday, the headlines, the inside pages, the things appearing on our social media feeds and all of that nice stuff. You're with Global Irish Radio. This is the Daily Crack and dailycrack.com. If you can't stay with us for the hour live, you can catch it later on at thedailycrack.com. And let's get some tunes going. This one comes from, well, it's a collaboration. Damien Dempsey, Mundy, Sharon Shannon, Courtin' in the Kitchen. Happy Monday.
Single bell and bow, unto me pay attention. Don't ever fall in love, 'tis the devil's own invention. Once I fell in love with a maiden so bewitching, a Senorita Bell out of Captain Kelly's kitchen. With me toodle-oodle-la, me toodle-oodle-la-dee, me toodle-oodle-la, toodle-oodle-oodle-la-dee.
At the age of 17, I was apprenticed to a grocer, not far from Stephen's Green, where Miss Henry used to go, sir. Her manners were so fine, she set my heart to twitching when she invited me to a hoolie in the kitchen.
With me toodle-oodle-la, with me toodle-oodle-la-dee, with me toodle-oodle-la, toodle-oodle-oodle-la-dee. Sunday being the day we want to have the flare-up, I dressed myself quite nice and I shaved and brushed my hair up. Captain had no wife and he was gone out fishing, so he kicked up my life down below stairs in the kitchen.
With my arms around her waist, she slyly hinted marriage. To the door in dreadful haste came Captain Kelly's carriage. Her eyes soon filled with haste, and poison she was spitting, when Captain Kelly at the door marched straight into the kitchen.
With me toodle-oodle-la, me toodle-oodle-la, me toodle-oodle-la, toodle-oodle-oodle-la-dee.
The captain came downstairs, he said, yourself quite funky. And I said, why wouldn't I? Sure, I'm about to spank the monkey. For me they take no bail, so to get home I was ditching. But I had to tell the truth, how I came into the kitchen.
I said she did invite me, she gave a flat denial. For assault she did indict me, and I was sent for trial. She swore I dropped the paw in spite of all her screeching. I got 6 months in jail for a courtin' in the kitchen.
Me toodle-oodle-la, me toodle-oodle-la, me toodle-oodle-la, toodle-oodle-la, me toodle-oodle-la, me toodle-oodle-la, me toodle-oodle-la, toodle-oodle-la.
Listening to Sean G on Global Irish Radio.
Good deeds are great things, and a single good deed can grow into a forest of kindness. At treedeeds.com, you can dedicate a tree in someone's honour and make a lasting impact on the planet. Each tree is deeded and comes with a personalised certificate, perfect for birthdays, holidays, memorials, or just because. Celebrate life, give back to nature, and leave a legacy that grows. Visit treedeeds.com today
That's treedeeds.com. Rooted in Ireland, gifted worldwide.
Hello, all you Global Irish Radio listeners out there, wherever you may be. It's myself, Finbar, here in beautiful northern Colorado, inviting you along to the Reigal Teigal Celtic Folk Show, streaming here live every Monday and Friday evening at 10 p.m. Irish time, where you're guaranteed to hear some rare old recordings from the old country and beyond. And it's all here on globalirishradio.com, the home of the Reigal Teigal. Listen to the Reigal Teigal on Global Irish Radio.
Yes, friends, another chance to catch the Reigal Teigal tonight at 10 o'clock right here on Global Irish Radio. Great old recordings, courtesy of Finbar out there in beautiful northern Colorado. So check that one out. Coming up later on here as well tonight, before that at 6 o'clock tonight, it's the Sounds Irish radio programme with David Marks from Glasgow in Scotland. Nice selection of country and Irish new releases and a little bit of trad thrown in there for good measure as well. Tall Tom is back in the hot seat at 8 tonight, live from Chicago with all of your requests and dedications. Great music as well. So Tom at gir.ie will get Tom's inbox. And of course, Tom was broadcasting live from Gaelic Park over the weekend for the big the Christmas hoolie, the Irish hoolie, that was taking place all weekend long in Chicago at both the Heritage Centre on the north side and the Gaelic Park Irish headquarters there on the south side of Chicago. Two fine institutions for Irish heritage culture and music in Chicago. Not sure, with the weather being the way that it was, how all of that went. Haven't had the feedback yet. We hope it was a big success though, and hopefully the weather didn't put too much of a damper on it. And elsewhere, of course, in New York, we were telling you that Peadar Tóibín, the leader of Aontú, was holding a general meeting in Times Square at Connolly's Pub. Nice interview that he did with one of our affiliates in New York, the Ireland Calls radio programme with Trasa Goodwin-Smith and Tommy Smith. So that was broadcast Saturday. It's available to go back and listen to on Spotify. And of course, we share details of all of that as well on our social media feeds. Work begins today to demolish the structures of Casement Park in West Belfast. The Ulster GAA recently said the organisation is looking forward to enabling works recommencing at Casement Park, and a statement said this is an important next step in the project and will include site clearance and the demolition of existing structures within the site boundary, including the old stands. And there's plans to build a 34,000 capacity stadium there at the site, but it is mired in uncertainty, as you probably heard, and controversy because of a funding shortfall. I think the Brits were supposed to pony up a little bit, and then they withdrew that funding and left the kind of the project in a bit of limbo. Not sure of the entire details there. And elsewhere, I see the Holocaust could very easily happen again. A survivor of the atrocity has said. Susie Diamond was speaking before a Holocaust Memorial Day event yesterday in Dublin. She said occasions like the one at Royal Hospital Kilmainham, which was attended by the Taoiseach and the Taoiseach and Minister for Justice, are important, as people don't think the past could happen again, but it can happen again. In fact, it looks like it's happening in America right now. Anyway, on to other showbiz, more important news. Harry Styles fans, very, very not happy. Let's put it that way this Monday. In fact, they are seeing red. They are seething. Yes, there's steam coming out of their ears, their nose and their mouth. Yes. Yeah, and why is that, you're saying? Well, because the first batch of tickets for his upcoming Wembley residency went on sale, and hefty prices, lengthy queues and a glaring Irish omission have all sparked backlash for the star following his recent return to the music scene. The former One Direction star released an initial wave of pre-sale tickets for his 6 planned shows at Wembley Stadium on Monday, but many hopeful concert goers never even made it past the virtual waiting room. Can you imagine that? bad enough waiting in a waiting room where a doctor's waiting room or something where there's newspapers and magazines, but the virtual waiting room, that's even worse again. Social media quickly filled with frustrated fans reporting hours-long queues, sudden sellouts and being kicked out just as they were reaching the checkout. Is there anything more frustrating, I ask you, in this virtual cyber world in which we now live? For those who did not get through, the shock wasn't over. No, the shock, there was still more to come. Ticket prices for the London dates have proven to be a major talking point, with premium packages climbing well into the hundreds of euros. The high-end VIP options sit at the very top of the scale, while other packages, including early entry and standing options, are still priced far beyond what many fans had expected. Let's see, can we get on to the prices here? Yeah, let's check it out now. See what you think of this. Disco standing tickets are listed at, give a guess, standing room only, £279. Yes, so that's over 300 euros, isn't it? While the Kiss package comes, I'm not sure what the Kiss package is. Does that come with a Kiss? I don't know, but you can hold on to your Kiss, just give me a seat. While the Kiss package comes in at 468.45. 45 cents. I mean, was 468 not enough? And VIP options starting at 333 pounds, climbing to 725. So general admission standing tickets are priced at so the worst standing spot in the house, 198.95. The reaction has been swift. Fans accusing the rollout of being inaccessible and out of touch with reality. And then adding fuel to the fire, Irish fans are also venting their frustration over the complete lack of Irish dates. So there you go. And of course, Styles is a devoted fan base here in Ireland, selling out arenas in the past, but nothing for them in this round of gigs. So not a happy bunch of campers, it's fair to say. That's the Harry Styles fans this Monday, shut out from the buying of those tickets, those pre-sale tickets, and waiting long time periods in the cyber waiting room, the virtual waiting room, and then sticker shock. So there you go. That's a story that's getting Harry Styles fans knickers in a twist this Monday. Here's a story that might be getting some motorists knickers in a twist in the coming weeks and months, because a raft of new traffic cameras to catch drivers speeding, running red lights and sneaking into the bus lanes, they're on the way. The camera clampdown will focus on speeding, red light running and bus lane infringements, with flexibility for the enforcement of other types of offences in future, according to One Dublin TD. So there you go. Cameras everywhere you look these days. Oh boy, Big Brother. And yeah, that's the world in which we live in, isn't it? Some of the top trending series stories at this hour. A mother who sexually assaulted her daughter and allowed her brother to rape the child when she was 6 years old in an act of depravity and cruelty has been jailed for 15 years. So not a very pretty story, not a nice story at all, but a story that is getting the headlines at this hour here in Ireland. And another story, the other story I suppose that's getting a lot of traction this Monday, a retired superintendent and 4 serving Gardaí have been found not guilty of perverting the course of justice following an 8-week trial at Limerick Circuit Court. The 5 accused denied 39 charges of unlawfully interfering in road traffic prosecutions on dates between October 2016 and September 2019. The jury of 8 men and 4 women deliberated for over 6 hours before returning its verdict. Fairly high profile case, and it seemed to be a case almost personal between one superintendent going up against another superintendent in that particular case. As I say, they got a lot of attention during the periods of testimony and all the rest of it. But today the jury announcing, or the court finding, that they are not guilty of said charges. It's the Daily Crack with me, Sean G. Here's Dominic Kerwin.
My name is Willie Riley. In Dublin I was born, and for my bad behaviour I was forced to cross the foam. With me bundle on me shoulder, me shillelagh in me hand, for to ramble the bushes of Australia like a true-born Irishman. The wind being in our favour, we raised our sails with glee, and we gave 300
hearty cheers, me boys, going down the Irish Sea. We gave 3 hearty cheers, me boys, going down the Irish Sea. And on the 11th day of April, we landed in Portmagee. With me bundle on me shoulder, me shillelagh in me hand, or to ramble the bushes of Australia like a true-born Irishman. And when we reached old Melbourne, the ladies danced with joy. Says one of them to the other, here comes that Irish boy. And some they drank from glasses, and some they drank from cans, and they sang and they danced all around the house to the health of this Irish man. With me bundle on me shoulder, me shillelagh in me hand, for to ramble the bushes of Australia like a true-born Irishman. The mother to the daughter, I cannot understand why you're going to wed this Irish boy all the way from Paddy's land. Says the daughter to her mother, sure I'll do the best I can, since I ramble the bushes of Australia with my true-born Irish man. With me bundle on me shoulder, me shillelagh in me hand, or to ramble the bushes of Australia like a true-born Irishman. With me bundle on me shoulder, me shillelagh in me hand, for to ramble the bushes of Australia like a true-born Irishman.
Global Irish Radio is excited to partner with 950 WROL AM, the Spirit of Boston, to bring you portions of the Irish Hit Parade, providing the soundtrack to your weekend. Join Paul Sullivan on Saturdays 3 to 7 p.m. Irish time and famous Seamus Mulligan on Sundays 7 to 10 p.m. for a feast of Irish music. Streaming live from Boston right here on globalirishradio.com.
She has a mop of auburn hair, the bluest eyes with no compare, intelligence that just holds you there. And her laughter fills the evening air. I smile at her just strolling there. No need to hurry, no, not a care. When I'm walking with me darling, when I'm walking with me love, with my love.
He has a heart of precious gold, a picture rare now to behold. When I'm walking with me love, no need to hurry back to town, we'll get there in the end somehow. When I'm walking with my love, when I'm walking with me darling, when I'm walking with me love, with my with my love. As the evening falls to starry night, she beckons me to hold on tight. When the moon comes
to steal the night.
There's an old cafe down by the shore. We'll stop a while and chat some more about the dreams we're both wishing for. When I'm walking with me, darling. When I'm walking with me, love. When I'm walking with me, darling. When I'm walking with me, love. Oh, with my love. Yeah.
Yes, with my love.
My love. Yeah.
Walking with my love.
Yep, that's Mary Black and Finbar Fury, Walking With My Love, bringing us ever closer to the finishing line this Monday on the Daily Crack. Little programme we do most days round about the 3 to 4 o'clock hour, bringing you up to speed on all that's happening in this part of the world. Mind you, we won't be with you now for a few weeks. We're hitting the road for a few weeks. So, won't be with you over the coming weeks, but we'll be back soon again. So, do take care and mind yourselves. I see that Ryanair boss Michael O'Leary has admitted he hopes that his very public spat with ex-owner Elon Musk escalates further, as he noted there is no winner. The businessman has been in a war of words in recent weeks with the billionaire Musk, even jibing that he would buy the budget airline. Musk, that is. Of course, you can't really do that since it's a European airline and the laws forbid it from being owned by somebody that's not a European. Something along those lines, anyway. But anyway, it's translating into increased bookings, increased publicity, and it culminated in the Big Idiot sale, didn't it? Which saw apparently billions of hits on the Ryanair website. I thought millions. I had to reread that, but it looks like the website getting billions of hits, all because of that very public spat. And Michael O'Leary's refusal to install Elon Musk's internet, his Starlink internet on the aircraft, which he didn't think was worth it for short-haul flights. Didn't think people were going to pay for it. It's a budget airline. They charge them for everything else. He didn't want to charge them anything else and didn't think it was worth it. So it escalated into a war of words that has translated into dividends in the form of increased bookings. Yes, a surge in bookings and a Big Idiot sale that resulted in a lot of seats being sold there as well. RTE is getting a new Washington correspondent. Don't know if we told you this last week or not, but it's a big job. It's a big gig in RTE, and it's never dull. Let's put it that way, especially over these this past 12 months. Journalist Jackie Fox will be the messenger from Washington for RTE and Irish people watching their news bulletins here in this country. She was unveiled as RTE's new Washington correspondent last week and has been dreaming of landing the job since she was 11 years old. And she was inspired by Carol Coleman reporting from Washington and stateside way back in those times. And there's that one classic interview between Carol Coleman and George W. Bush that got a lot of international headlines at the time. But there you go. The new Washington correspondent is journalist Jackie Fox. She'll be taking over from Sean Whelan, who is the current Washington correspondent. No word as to where he is going, but there you go. Journalist Jackie Fox bringing you all the good or the bad and everything in between as she takes up her new role there with RTE. Dream job coming true for her, so we wish her well there, obviously, on that front. Stay tuned to Global Irish Radio throughout the day. Lots of great music 24/7, streaming live from our headquarters here at just outside Castlebar in County Mayo. Studio at gir.ie. Find us online at globalirishradio.com. Check out our new Instagram page. Give us a like or a follow or whatever it is you do on Instagram. That kind of thing. It's the Daily Crack with me, Sean G. dailycrack.com for all previous episodes, and for a whole world of podcast listening, as we often tell you, we created the site irishpodcasts.com, which is a gateway to, a world of podcast listening. And the nice thing about it is it gives you the top 10 countdown of the most listened to podcasts here in Ireland. You often hear of the top 10 songs. Well, this is the top 10 podcasts, and it gives you an insight into what's on the minds of people here in this country, what we're listening to. And, excuse me, these days a lot of the political podcasts ranking high on the top 10 because people trying to make sense of this mad world in which we live in. So The Rest is Politics US and The Rest is Politics, well, it should be UK, but it's the original The Rest is Politics with Alistair Campbell and Rory Stewart. They have great global perspective. And of course, The Mooch and Caddy K dissecting all things American politics on their The Rest is Politics US. Just some of the good podcasts. And here in Ireland, Path to Power is a good one to check out if you want to get your finger or keep your finger on the pulse of Irish political happenings. And Brendan O'Connor and the Newspaper Panel, which airs on RTE Radio 1 on Sunday mornings. Another good one that rounds, kind of does a weekly roundup on the top stories and the stories in the papers on Sundays. So all make for pretty good listening if you're into current affairs, world affairs and politics, that kind of thing. If you're not, there's a whole world of other things there for you. Self-help, sport, comedy, true crime, anything and anything. That, my friends, I think is our lot for today, is it? Margaret's away, cat's away, the mice will play. We're getting out of here a little bit early, getting organised. As I say, won't be here for the next few weeks, but we wish you well and take care, mind yourselves. We will talk to you in the very near future, some way down the line. Oh, our quote of the day today, inspired by George Orwell. I think it is anyway. Do we have it here? And a common paraphrasing of a central theme in George Orwell's 1984. Believe your eyes, not the lies. That's our lot for today, friends. Happy Monday. Have a great week. Talk to you real soon. We'll leave you with Macon and Clancy and The Liar.
Easy got us a wet foot. It goes like this. To me rifle, toor-a-laddie, toor-a-lee. There is no one who can tell a lie like me. You can search until you tire. You won't find a bigger liar. I've been lying since the dawn of history. Sing it out now. Rifle, toor-a-laddie, toor-a-lee. There is no one who can tell a lie like me. You can search until you tire and don't find a bigger liar. I've been lying since the dawn of history. I was born about 10,000 years ago in Belmullet, in the county of Mayo. It was me that chased the bear and White St. Patrick preached a sermon, and I'll whoop the man that says it isn't so. Singing rifle, toor-a-laddie, toor-a-lee. There is no one who can tell a lie like me. You can search until you tire, you won't find a bigger liar. I've been lying since the dawn of history. I saw Eco picking apples off a tree. She came over and she offered one to me. Well, I turned and said, dear madam, you can try your luck with Adam. I'm gone home to have some fish and chips and tea. Singing rifle, toor-a-laddie, toor-a-lee. There is no one who can tell a lie like me. You can search until you tire, you won't find a bigger liar. I've been lying since the dawn of history. I saw Delilah cutting Samson's hair. She snipped away until his head was bare. When he couldn't run away, well, she married him next day, and they opened up a barber shop in Clare. Singing rifle, toor-a-laddie, toor-a-lee. There is no one who can tell a lie like me. You can search until you tire, you won't find a bigger liar. I've been lying since the dawn of history. With King Billy and the Boyne, I heard him call on his followers to follow till they fall. Then he says we'll win quite easily and we'll canonise young Paisley, and he up and sang a verse of Dirty's walls. Singing rifle, toor-a-laddie, toor-a-lee. There is no one who can tell a lie like me. You can search until you tire, you won't find a bigger liar. I've been lying since the dawn of history. It was during World War II I met them all. There Roosevelt and Churchill and de Gaulle. And one day I nearly fainted, I was having my house painted. There was Hitler hanging paper in the hall. Singing rightful toodle-a-laddy, toodle-a-lee. There is no one who can tell a lie like me. You can search until you're tired, you won't find a bigger liar. I've been lying since the dawn of history. Do it again, come on. Singing rightful toodle-a-laddy, toodle-a-lee. There is no one who can tell a lie like me. You can search until you're tired, you won't find a bigger liar. I've been lying since the dawn of history.
Around the clock and around the world. You're listening to GlobalIrishRadio.com.